It's Thursday, February 23rd, and this is Geeknights. Tonight we talk about how not to suck at driving. Let's do this.
So yesterday I did my Katsucon coverage, and I was sick, and I'm slightly less sick today. And there's one quick thing I forgot about, and that's
You forgot about something.
Yeah, I forgot one thing.
Oh my god.
MC Chris did a concert at Katsucon.
That's the guy who sings Fet's Vet.
Yeah, Fet's Vet and Roba Tussin.
That guy's, if you haven't heard this guy, he sings mad nerdy raps.
And you know what?
Style.
He's a mad nerdy guy.
It's awesome.
So the concert was awesome. I mean, he got up on stage, he did a full set, which basically is him. He'll sing a song, and then he'll basically, his thing seems to be like Black Power, Black Panthers, only replace that with the word nerd.
Oh, right. So wait. So black nerds?
Nah. It was basically like, burn the frat houses down, yeah! Nerd power! Nerd power! And he was working the crowd up, and then he'd sing a song, then he'd give another inflammatory speech, and then he'd sing another song.
All right. So,
and after he did his set, he walked off, and people were screaming his name, and he walks back on, and he does one more song, and then...
Of course, you got to do that.
And then he announces to the crowd that he will not leave until he has shook everyone's hand who is currently in the concert. And then he sets up a table, and everyone in the concert files by and shakes his hand.
All right.
And he was signing stuff, and he had a few things for sale, I think. I actually didn't stand in line because I had other things to do.
You shake his hand?
Nah.
Oh, but he's still sitting there, right?
Well, he left when the line ended, and by the time the line ended, I was already off doing other things at the con. It was late at night on Saturday. I was a little bit drunk. By a little, I mean a lot. I was wandering around interviewing people for Geeknights. So about the time when he finished was about the time I was wandering around in the sub-basement interviewing all those hotel staff that I talked about yesterday.
We'll have to give a link to him, and I think he has some MP3s for download on his site. Download at least the Fet's Vet MP3, which is
Fet's Vet
that's his best song.
As in Boba Fett financing his vet, as in Corvette vroom.
As in that thing that, takes off and fly. Yeah, you get it. What's his ship called again?
Oh, Slave One.
That's right.
I can't believe you didn't remember that. You're like the biggest Boba Fett fan.
I'm not the biggest Boba Fett fan. I mean, he just looks cool, and he has some cool weapons.
Well, here's a question. When in Star Wars did Boba Fett first appear? What was his first appearance in the Star Wars universe?
Well, it was in Episode 4 when Darth Vader was interviewing all the bounty hunters, right?
Maybe.
Oh, wait, was that Episode 5? Okay, no, that's right. In Episode 4, in the added scene, at the end of the added scene in the special edition, he comes at the end of the added scene, he just looks at the screen. In Episode 5, you first see him when Darth Vader is interviewing bounty hunters, auditioning bounty hunters, I guess, to go get, the good guys. Well,
I'm not going to answer the question as to when he actually appeared. We'll see if any of our listeners will post in the forum.
He might have appeared. You know what? If someone's nerdier than me, they'll know that he appeared in, the background of some scene.
Or in, the Christmas special or
The Christmas
something.
special didn't come before Episode 5.
Yeah.
I don't think it did anyway. There's no way.
All I'm saying
it
is
couldn't have because there were Ewoks in it, right? No, were there? There were at least Wookiees.
There were a lot of Wookiees.
Too many Wookiees. We'll talk about that some other time.
Yep. Though Katsucon's done, but we got many more conventions coming up.
Yep. This Saturday, I don't know, I've said it enough times, but in case this is if you're brand new to the podcast, guess what? This Saturday, as in, what would
2
it be?
days from now.
Yeah. Well, the convention actually starts tomorrow, but today is February 23rd. From February 24th through the 26th, the New York Comic-Con is happening at the Jacob Javits Center in New York City. I will be there.
I might be there.
On the 25th, Saturday only, because why do I want to go all 3 days? I don't know. Expect to see me hanging out with people who listen to Comic Geek Speak, because I listen to them too.
And he wants to yell at them, and they'll yell back at him.
Yeah, and expect me to... Douglas Rushkoff's going to be there, so I'm going to probably go see him sometime.
Well, you won his contest, so...
Yeah, I'm sure. I think he kind of knows who I am, kind of.
If you say, hey, I won your contest, I wrote about, yeah.
He has a panel, but I don't think I'm going to go to his panel. But I'll go... I think he's signing stuff. I'll get him to sign his comic that he's writing. And Minmay, a.k.a. Actually, it's Mari Ichima. I think that's how you say her name. I don't know. The original Lin Minmay from Macross, who's also currently doing a big U.S. tour to pimp her music and the redubbing of Macross by ADV. she's gonna like sing some songs around noon, I think, in like the lobby or something. But she's also, they're doing this anime Exodus thing at night where they're gonna bus people over to the knitting factory for like her singing and someone else singing and then DJing. And I kind of want to go, and I would go if I brought people with me. The problem is I'm gonna have a bunch of comic shit carrying, and I don't really want to carry it to this nightclub.
Huh. See, I'm not going to really buy anything at the con, so I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. It's just, even if it'll fit in a backpack probably, but I don't want to go to a nightclub with a backpack.
You could rent a locker at the Port Authority.
Yeah, I don't really want to do that.
Oh, rent a bus locker?
It's like out of the way. The knitting factory's way down, and the Javits Center's in the middle, and the Port Authority's up from there.
I'm sure there's somewhere else you can rent a locker.
This is a lot of people I know get memberships at actually the New York Sports Club because you can get showers and lockers there. But I don't go there often enough for it to be worth it now. And,
yeah.
Even when I worked there, I would have used that maybe 4 times, 5 times.
Well, I've gone to many a nightclub with a backpack, and it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, it just might suck, so I don't.
We're not going to be rocking to Lin Min-mei so much.
Yeah, but if I go, I might want to stay for all the DJ happening because then you have to pay $15 extra to do this in addition to your con membership.
I've paid more to get into crappier clubs for less stellar events.
Yeah, maybe I can go and like she'll sing and I'll stand around while she sings. Just like sit in the back and not really be into it, and then leave after. But when the DJing starts, because then I can go home.
We'll see. The trains run until 1:30, so.
Oh, yeah, if we stay for all the DJing, we're totally going to be
sleeping on the streets of New York City like we
missing
did for
all the trains.
Yeah.
So, actually, no, wait, my cousin lives now on, like, 1st or 2nd Avenue. So if I went all the way...
What, in Manhattan?
Yeah. I'm like,
really?
Yeah, she lives in, like, a tiny box with, like, 3 other girls. But it's, like, a really nice building.
3 other girls, eh?
Or 2 or 3 other girls, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea, but...
All right, well, that's all, stuff we'll talk about after we finish recording.
Yeah, that's not the point. Saturday, as 2 days from now, New York Comic-Con. If you'll be there Saturday, you can find us, where it might be really crowded, but we're obvious.
Yeah, like I said, we ran into some people who knew us at Katsucon. Me and the other Scott, not this Scott. But it's real hard to miss us at any public event. You just trust me.
Yeah.
All right, so... In the news, Gervais Markham, who is the licensing dude for the Mozilla Free Software Foundation, or the Mozilla Foundation, got an email from a woman who works for the Trading Standards Department in the UK. And she was very happy that they had caught some retailer or someone selling Firefox CDs, and she wanted to get their permission to press charges and confiscate them and go through all that rigmarole.
But you're allowed to sell Firefox CDs.
Yeah, so he responded to her saying, they're perfectly within their rights to do that. As per our license, there's no problem. Please, if you confiscated anything, give it back and let them do whatever they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
This was not well received, apparently. And her reply, now here's a quote. I can't believe that your company would allow people to make money from something that you allow people to have free access to. Is this really the case?
People just don't get it. Free means free, as in you can do whatever the hell you want with it. And because it clashes with their preconceived notions of, being a greedy ass fuck, they just can't believe that anyone is really that benevolent.
Now, she went on. If Mozilla permit the sale of copyrighted versions, this is all in context. I'm not altering the grammar in any way. If Mozilla permit the sale of copied versions of its software, it makes it virtually impossible for us, from a practical point of view, to enforce UK anti-piracy legislation, as it is difficult for us to give general advice to businesses over what is and is not permitted.
That's true.
Now, at this point, Gervais, he is the guy for the Mozilla Foundation. He's the dude. So he starts telling her about all the other free software out there and how it's not just Mozilla. He talked about OpenOffice. He talked about Linux. And she didn't believe him. In fact, she didn't even believe at this point that he actually worked for Mozilla. She thought he was some sort of imposter, and he had to convince her that he really was the guy. And
just send her a copy, send her a link to the new public license version 2 and say, read it. Read what it says.
This woman doesn't sound so bright.
Oh, yeah, but get your lawyer to read this and ask them. Don't even, doesn't matter what I say. There's the official thing right there. Read it.
So basically, it seems like people out there in the industries really can't seem to grasp the fact that things aren't the way they used to, and there are indeed things that are free. Actually free.
Well, this reminds me of actually a story. Well, it's not really a story. It's when I was taking this class called I think it was computer security something. It was actually a liberal arts class with the teacher was the original McGruff. He was like a cop, and then he was in charge of cybercrime. That was right. What was the frickin' class? Cybercrime something. He was in charge of cybercrime for the entire federal government, something, Justice Department. He was a real important guy, and he became an RIT professor, and he was in charge of the security club and whatever. So in this class, they spent like a day or two talking about free software. So, of course, I gave everyone the lowdown. There were probably 2 or 3 other kids in the class who could have done it as well, as RIT. So there was one sort of older lady in the class, like 30, 40, old, an old middle-aged woman.
Not to stereotype, but I have many stories about those types who were in my IT classes, and they always cause trouble.
Oh, yeah, because they don't, learn as easily as us, punk kids, and they have their old ways.
That wasn't what I was going to say, but go with that. Fine.
Yeah. So after I explained it, she was like, so why do you give it away for free? You do this hard work. Why don't you get money for it? I'm like, because I'm not a greedy ass fuck.
Did you actually say greedy ass fuck in class?
I think I said asshole.
All right, good.
And she was just like completely dumbfounded. And the explanation the teacher gave, whether it's true or not, seemed really smart. He was comparing the hacker ethic to the old-fashioned Christian work ethic. Not Christian as in the religion, but,
quote Christian, like the old Puritan work ethic, all that.
Yeah. So, and he was like, these people still have that old work ethic, and you people have the hacker ethic, and the world's changed into the hacker ethic, and that's the way it is.
I mean, the hacker ethic is very simple. Don't hurt other people, do what you find fun, help people when you can. And tinker with things.
Yeah, there's more to it. But
yeah, the hacker ethic is very broad and ill-defined.
Well, no, there's like a list. You can pretty much make like a list of things that define each of these two things and compare them, and they're pretty much the exact opposite. So go online and go read about the Christian work ethic and the hacker ethic, and there's actually a book all about the hacker ethic you can go read, and it's pretty good, actually. I read part of it once.
Though I wonder if incidents like this, because I found it disturbing that this woman and this institution, it looks like it's a UK government institution, was giving advice to businesses on what they can or cannot do with regards to software and copyright, but they were assuming that all software is proprietary and can't be copied, and they basically didn't seem to be aware of the fact that free software exists at all.
Well, I think they were aware of the fact that free software existed because she said, people are selling something you give away for free, and the advice they were probably giving to companies was, for open source software, use it all you want. For proprietary software, don't buy it, And because people might be selling free software, now it gets really difficult to explain to a company easily, what to do. It's like,
well, maybe that's
should you buy this? Should you get it for free? That means you have to pretty much give companies a list of all the software in the world, which you can't do. It's not reasonable.
Well, you know what that means? It means our copyright law is so Byzantine that there's really no way to simply summarize it to anyone anymore.
No, there isn't.
Because, we could license Geeknights however we wanted. We could say that you have to give us a one-legged dog for every episode that we let you listen to, and if you cut off your finger, you're allowed to spread that episode to 2 other people.
Let's do it.
Now, you might say, no, that's stupid, but that's fine. It's our right to give a stupid license. It's your right to ignore it. Luckily, for all of you who don't know, we're out under the Creative Commons license, almost entirely unrestricted.
Yeah.
You can do anything you want with Geeknights, anything in the world. The only restriction is that you have to share and share alike.
Yeah, so if you start giving Geeknights to people, then those people have to also be willing to give Geeknights to other people. They can't keep it to themselves.
Well, I guess they can keep it to themselves because they're not forced to give it to other people.
That's
true. But if you created a derivative work, like say you remix something we said into a techno song, that's fine, but other people are allowed to remix your techno song into other techno songs now.
Yeah, you have to you can't make a techno song remix of what we say and then charge $1 for it. You have to just give it away.
Unless we gave you permission, because we can give permission for anything we want.
Oh, yeah, sure. The other thing is you have to sell people where it came from. You have to be like, this is Geeknights, Scott and Rim. You can't be like, yeah, this is me, I did this.
Yeah, we're not public domain.
Yeah, you have to tell people who it is. That's it. You can do anything else you want.
You know what? I hereby state that the following 4 words I say are in the public domain. I couldn't even think of 4 funny words to say.
Well, the 4 words you just said at the beginning.
I couldn't even think.
Yeah.
All right, so what's this other news you got about some DHCP Linux, something most of our listeners don't know or care about?
Well, okay, they might know or care. DHCP, if you don't know, is the way your computer gets an IP address. You might do it the old-fashioned way where you just type in an IP address and that's the one your computer tries to use, but no one does it that way anymore. The way it works basically is a DHCP server. You say, hey, what IP address are you going to give me? It gives you one, and that's the one you get.
Yep. If you're using an ISP or anything, they just do that automatically. You probably don't even have to do anything.
Yeah, most people don't even know what the hell this is going on. But the point of it is, whenever you connect a computer to the internet, it uses DHCP to get the IP address, whether it's a wireless, a wire, whatever. Okay? So, in Linux, you have this weird kind of setup where the kernel knows how to do DHCP, but you have to have a userland program to actually tell the kernel to do DHCP and, all that stuff. So the program that you use when the computer starts up to talk to the Linux kernel to tell it to use DHCP, and it talks back to you and says this happened, and you talk to it. Now, the way it's worked for a while now is the only DHCP program that was worth a shit is DHCP CD.
So if you're running Linux, I guarantee to you that's what you're using right now.
Yeah, there's a program called DHCP CD. And what it does is it says, hey, kernel, I want an IP address. Hey, kernel, I want an IP address. And then it gets one. It says, I got an IP address. And then it says, hey, kernel, is it working? Hey, kernel, is it working? It just keeps asking the kernel to make sure the DHCP server is all right.
Now, it works, but it doesn't work as well as it could, and there are a lot of annoyances in that it doesn't always react to IP address changes.
Yes.
Or, like, if you, in Windows, you unplug your network cable, you plug it right back in, everything just starts working again.
Mm-hmm. In Linux, if you unplug your network cable and plug it back in, you have to tell DHCP CD, hey, we lost the connection there, and we lost the IP address. Get a new one. It doesn't get a new one on its own because it doesn't know shit.
Now, a lot of people use
ifplugd,
ifplugd,
which is a program that watches to see if the wire gets unplugged, and if the wire gets unplugged, then ifplugd automatically tells the DHCP thing to do its trick.
Now, that's fine, but that is very obviously a hackish way of getting around this
you're
problem.
using 2 programs. One program's purpose is just to watch and manage this original program.
Actually, I got a thing. I can't really give the details, but at work, we have a web server that's old and crappy, and it's going to go away soon.
And you have a program that watches it, and when it goes down, it restarts it?
Yes.
Awesome. I love those.
We have like the web server, and then we have this thing we call Keep Web Alive, and it checks the web and keeps it alive.
Awesome.
It's hilarious.
I bet you half the time, it's checking brings it down.
No, we actually know that it works pretty well. This server is old and crap, and it's going away, so...
All right.
Yeah.
So, some guys in the Linux kernel department, I think in the very recent version, like 2.6.17, which I'm not even using a new one like that yet, I'm using like 2.6.15, is making it so that when the network connection goes down, the kernel will actually tell the DHCP program, hey, the connection went down. So the DHCP program now can do and get IP addresses and re-get them and retry all on its own in a smart, intelligent way.
Now, some people aren't very happy with this.
Well, the thing is the DHCP CD, the current DHCP program, isn't updated. So it doesn't give a shit about the kernel telling it that the connection went down. It just doesn't do anything. It's not programmed to do anything when it gets those commands from the kernel. So, one guy says, let's write a new DHCP program and get rid of DHCP CD. And I said to this, hooray! Woohoo!
But some other people said, you can't do that, that's stupid.
Well, they didn't say you can't do that, they said you shouldn't do that. Now, some of the guys have a somewhat legitimate thing to say, and that's, why bother writing a new one when you could just add the feature to DHCP CD? And I said, okay, that makes a little sense. Yeah. And another guy says, the old DHCP client has a lot of features and other things in use, and it'll take quite a bit of time to update them. So I don't really understand what that complaint is because, well, sure, it's going to take time to write it. You keep using the old one until the new one's done. What do you think? You just start using a new one before it's finished?
I mean, it takes time to do just about anything, so that's not really a good argument. That's like saying, hey, I'm going to make a cure for cancer. Man, fuck that. That'll take time.
Yeah, I mean, what are we going to do until then? We're going to have to keep using these current cures for cancer, or we're going to use your experimental thing you're working on. It's like, no, you just keep...
Actually, I'm not going to get into this a lot, but there's a logical fallacy around that idea that I've seen a lot on the internet lately, and it's starting to tick me off. So I think next Thursday we're going to do a show on all the logical fallacies and how you can avoid them.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Or use them to your advantage.
German book.
Yeah, that German book.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, the point is, if you're a Linux user or thinking about becoming one, in the near future, probably like the next release or two of Ubuntu, you'll start seeing the kind of things like unplugging and replugging into different networks, just switching your network with the internet, with the cable, and going on and off of different wireless networks. Like if you walk around somewhere and there's a bunch of wireless networks, it'll start getting really easy just to switch networks all the time with laptops and stuff as soon as they figure this stuff out.
Yep.
And all these nerds who think that we shouldn't implement this feature and make life easier can shove it.
Well, this is like that nerd way back when you were talking about with Gentoo, how why isn't there a nice GUI installer?
And he said, don't make a GUI installer. I'm like, why? No one's making you use it. They're still going to have the old busted installer for you. And he's like, but those people working on it could be working on something else. And I'm like, well, first of all, what are you working on? And two, no, they couldn't be working on something else because they're only going to work on what they want to.
See, that's another very similar logical fallacy that I've also seen a lot on the internet, particularly on FARC.
Yeah.
Where someone will say, like, scientists discover something, and people will say, that was a waste of time. They could have been working on this problem instead.
Why is Stephen Hawking worrying about black holes that don't bother us? He could be working on the cure for AIDS. No, he doesn't know shit about the cure for AIDS.
Scott, why are you working on a podcast? You could be giving food to homeless people.
Yeah, right. Okay, so I think that's enough of that.
So my thing of the day, it's real short, real quick. But basically, I found this cool site where some guy and his wife, every year since 1976, on a specific day, June 17th, take a picture of themselves and everyone in their family. So now they have this cool time-lapse progression of their family through the ages.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say about that. I think it's a neat idea.
I wish maybe I'll start doing something like that. You want to start doing it tomorrow?
We could.
Yeah. Well,
it reminds me a lot of, on FARC every now and then, people link to this old one about... There was this woman who was a meth addict.
Whoa.
And every time she got arrested, they took a picture of her.
Oh,
and
I saw that.
Someone found all these pictures of the same woman, and they made this animation of through the years, and it'll scare anyone in the world away from taking crystal meth.
That's for sure. It gets really scary when she has, like, no teeth and shit.
Yeah, meth mouth.
Yeah.
Man, freaking meth heads. I don't care that you're destroying your brain and that you're screwing yourself up and dangerous chemicals, whatever. But because of you, I have to sign a form to get my freaking Sudafed.
Yeah, I don't take Sudafed, but NyQuil is now harder to get too, so...
Yeah, we stocked up on the old NyQuil because of you bastards.
Yeah, did we?
Yeah, I got 2 big jars of the old NyQuil.
Yeah, now, okay, so we bought 2 big things of the old NyQuil, now they think that we're meth machine makers. They think we got a meth lab going. Alright, anyway.
Dude, don't tell them about our meth lab.
Shit. We don't make meth here. Please stay away.
Yeah.
We won't let you in. Okay. So I'm from the Northeast United States, and, you know, nowadays we have Best Buy and Circuit City and whatnot, but back in the day we had stores like The Wiz and, you know, I guess some others, but...
Yeah, where I lived we had ABC Warehouse.
Yeah.
And Ernest P. Worrell was the advertising spokesman for them.
Okay. Oh, wait, Ernest, as in like Ernest something something?
Yes.
Wow. All right, so we had one store called Crazy Eddie's. Now, Crazy Eddie's, they didn't have one near me until, like, just when... I would always see the commercials on TV for Crazy Eddie's. Like, you would see, like, one during every show, you know, on any channel, just guaranteed. But we never actually went to that store until they opened one up, like, right next to our house. And I remember when I went there, it was really crazy. Like, they gave everyone this yellow T-shirt. I wonder if we still have it somewhere. There's a picture of the T-shirt online. You can see it. It's one of the links. And like they give out all this free shit, and it was really pretty crazy. They went along with the theme. And Crazy Eddie's wasn't really special, but the commercials were kind of crazy. They had this guy. The guy wasn't Crazy Eddie. Crazy Eddie was some like Jew from Brooklyn. The commercials though were this other guy. I don't know his name, but it's on the website somewhere. And he would be like, Crazy Eddie, blah, 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 blah. Our prices are so low. We got this and this and this and this. Oh, my God. It's the summer. We got air conditioners and fans. Air conditioners and fans. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. And then at the end of every commercial, he would say, and the prices are insane.
I mean, you might have seen a lot of spoofs of this kind of ad in recent years, or even, 10 years ago, whatever. They're all over the place. This guy was one of the originals.
Yeah, this guy is like the real deal. I mean, they even did jokes about this guy in like Futurama and shit. So, by happenstance on the internet today, I came across, like the official Crazy Eddie like tribute site, and on YouTube I found a bunch of videos of Crazy Eddie commercials from back in the day, and they're pretty hilarious. Now, the final story of Crazy Eddie is that he had two stores. There was Crazy Eddie's, which is an appliance store like Best Buy, and there was Crazy Eddie's Record and Tape Asylum. You get it? Crazy Eddie's Price is Insane. Record and Tape
I get
Asylum.
it. I get it.
Where he would sell records and tapes. It was like a music store.
I think we all get it.
And in the end, Crazy Eddie went to... He was a criminal. He basically cooked the books, and he cheated on taxes, and he cheated on inventory. It was
Good deal.
It was like far more times 10, except, whatever. He ran away to Israel, but then they extradited him, and he changed, he got mad busted. He's jail. I think he had to pay $150 million in criminal fines, and then like $1 billion in civil suits.
Aha.
Yeah, he got totally pooned. If there was debtor's prison, he would just kill himself. But there is one thing I noticed in the commercial, in one of the commercials I watched for the Record and Tape Asylum, that I want to talk about for a little bit. The prices on his records and tapes. He was selling, now this is Crazy Eddie's, so the prices are a little low, but the records and tapes were selling for like $6-7 a record.
Now, what year was this?
Late 80s.
All right,
mid to late 80s.
So inflation does definitely not account for all of that.
Mid to late 80s, entire albums were selling for in between $5 and $10.
So what?
And this is at Crazy Eddie's, so you can add a buck or two to get to the what other stores are selling it.
Now, what do CDs sell for nowadays?
More than $15 for like brand new, amazing hot ones that are pop whatevers, and between 10 and 15 for your average ones, I guess. And they're selling $1 a song on iTunes. $1 a song on iTunes is a shittier deal than what you would get at a normal record store for a vinyl in the mid to late 80s.
Actually, I'll bet if you count inflation, they're probably about the same.
Maybe. Let's see. $1 a song if an album has 15 songs.
An album has 15 songs on it? Are you kidding? Most albums have 6.
6? Holy shit. But these were vinyl records that you were buying in the mid to late 80s. They had an A-side and a B-side with like 6 songs per side at the minimum.
The average album nowadays has 6 or 7 songs on it.
All right, nowadays. I'm talking in the mid to late 80s. So in the mid to late 80s, you were getting more songs for your money. More songs for your money. What the hell? They're wondering where... All right, here's the proof. Right there, black and white. You were getting an A-side and a B-side. Nowadays,
actually,
you just get an A-side?
That commercial was in color.
Yeah.
Black and white?
What are you talking about, black and white?
You said there's the proof in black and white. It's not black and white. It's in color.
All right, you can shut up.
Hey, it wasn't me. You're the one who made the false claim here.
Whatever. There used to be 2 sides to a record, and they were cheap, and god damn it. The record companies are dumb. They jacked up their prices, and people stopped buying, and they wonder why.
Well, people didn't stop buying until they could get it for free.
Yeah. But seriously, if you want me to... If they were charging $6 for an entire album of DRM-free CD-quality music, and there were...
CD quality? Hardly.
And, well, perfect CD quality.
These weren't CDs.
Oh, you meant the vinyls weren't CD quality.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's true. But even vinyl quality's all right.
Not really.
He was also selling tapes.
Tapes were worse.
Well, professional tapes are okay.
No, even professional tapes, because you can only master a tape so far.
Yeah, but even still, if they're selling that many songs for that few dollars, I might even buy some occasionally, a few, maybe 2 or 3 a year, as opposed to 0. So, yeah.
Wow, you talked for about 7 minutes on your thing of the day.
Well, I had to tell the whole story of Crazy Eddie, or else there would be absolutely no context to it, and everyone would go, what the fuck is this?
Maybe. I like how mine, at least, is fairly self-explanatory this time.
Yeah, I'll get a better self-explanatory one next week.
Well, I didn't do that chess game thing I was going to do.
And I didn't do that other video I saw.
Which one?
I'm going to keep that a secret.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, today, we couldn't come up with much to talk about. And at least I'm not sick anymore, at least not that sick. So we decided, since we both commute every day by car...
No longer taking the train.
And it's Thursday, so we can talk about whatever we want.
We're going to bring back our old segment, How Not to Suck.
Now, we're not going to talk about speeding or the whole relationship between cops, extorting people for money with speeding tickets to pay small towns to pay their salaries.
Yeah, because I think we said we were planning on talking about that before, and we will talk about that in the future, but we actually expanded our plans for that.
Yeah, and we're not going to talk about, all our crazy ideas about driving and speeding.
This is advice to you on how not to suck at driving, because a lot of people suck at driving and they can't drive for shit. And there are things you can do other than, improving your hand-eye coordination and such to be a better driver and not fuck up the road and not get in my way.
Now, of course, I guess what we could start with is we can just go through a lot of the little things that people probably don't realize they're doing or don't realize are bad and talk about them.
Well, let's start simple. Always use your signal lights.
Yeah, seriously, if you're turning, turn on your turn signal. It's not that hard.
If you're merging into a lane or changing lanes, turn your signal on, then start to think about, it's like decide you're going to change the lane, turn the signal on, then wait for the opening and go.
I mean, I see people who they use their signals, and I'm making little quotey marks with my fingers, because by use my signal, I mean they'll start merging into the lane, turn on the signal for a second, and then turn it off and finish merging.
Yeah, the idea is you want to tell the guy behind you and the people to the back and the sides that, hey, I'm coming this way, watch out, and then you come that way. You don't start going and then signal. The other thing is, on the way to work, here's a good example. There's a road, Route 121, all right? And it kind of makes this left turn at some point. And coming off the elbow of the turn is Route something else, right? Now, basically, you're either going... It's a fork in the road, essentially. But to the left fork, you're not actually changing roads. If you're not changing roads, you don't need to signal left. You're staying on the same road. You're not stopping at a stoplight sign or a light and turning. You just keep going straight.
I guess that's not so bad. I'd rather someone signal when they don't have to than not signal when they should.
It is not so bad. It is much more important to always signal when required to. But at the same time, signaling when not required, while doesn't have really negative consequences, it's not perfect driving. So
see, I don't even care about that. I'm looking for just use your signals. I don't care if you use your signal when you shouldn't, unless you have your signal on and you don't intend to turn.
Oh God, yeah, turn it if your signal doesn't automatically turn off when because usually if you spin the wheel a lot, like you're taking a right turn and you have a right signal. And you let go of the wheel and it rotates back to going straight, the signal will unpop, and stop blinking. But sometimes if you make like a little turn or a little lane change, it doesn't stop on its own. And in that case, unfreaking click it. Like, don't leave it on.
Now, if you're wondering, like, why should you care about that specific thing, it varies from state to state. But in most states, if you have your turn signal on and there's an intersection coming up or anywhere you could have turned your car to, and you keep going straight and someone pulls out in front of you and you hit them, it's 100% your fault and you'll get the ticket because you were signaling that you were going to turn.
Yeah, here's an example. I was there's a road. Think of a T in the road, right? And I'm on the vertical part of the T. So there are cars going across the top of the T in both directions, and I'm trying to get onto the top of the T. I'm trying to turn left onto it, right? And go off the left side. A guy is coming across the T from the left to the right. He's going to pass in front of me if he continues to go straight. He has his signal on that says he is turning right. I safely assume he's going to turn right and thus not go in front of me. He's going to go down to the bottom of the T. which means it's free for me to turn left onto the T. He, in fact, does not turn right and continues to go straight. He just had his signal on like an asshole. If he did that, he would just slam right into the side of me when I came out.
And it would be 100% his fault, and he would get a ticket, and you could call the police.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the problem with this is that if you're the only one in your car, and he's the only one in his car...
You don't have enough witnesses.
You need a witness. Bear in mind that even if someone does something stupid, but it's like, say you see the guy and has his turn signal on, but he's going 80, and he's obviously not slowing down.
Yeah, don't
pull out in front of him.
Out.
I mean, you're technically in the right, but when you involve yourself with a stupid person, you cannot benefit from it. It can only hurt both of you.
Whenever I see someone coming with the signal on like that, I always wait for them to slow down before I come out. Because at least if they slow down, I can step on it and get out of the way.
See, at least you're more forgiving in that sense. If I ignore signals completely. If I see what someone's signal on, I assume that they're not going to follow it. And if I don't see a signal, I assume that they could turn in any direction at any time.
No, if I don't see a signal, I assume they're going to go in any direction anytime. And I kind of watch the movements of their car to try to guess where they're going to go.
Yeah, you can usually tell pretty well, because a lot of people swing out before they turn, or other bad things we'll get into.
Yeah. All right. Here, I know what we could talk about for 10 minutes.
All right.
Right of way.
All right. How we start? We can start with a four-way.
Well, let's start with talking about what right of way is. People don't understand right of way. The right of way is when one or more cars wants to occupy the same spot on the road. You have to take turns. Whoever has the right of way gets to occupy that space first.
Now, airplanes and boats have the same thing, but the rules are different. I mean,
and we
boats,
don't even know the rules for boats, 100% of the rules.
I know them a little because I grew up on the lakes.
Yeah,
but,
big boats have right of way.
Well, basically, that's just because, they can't stop.
Yeah.
But on the road, now, you might think, all right, so if I have right of way, I can go. And if I don't have right of way, I have to let the other person go.
Mm.
No. If you don't have right of way, you can't go. But if you have right of way, you must go.
You must go.
If you give up your right of way to let someone else go, not only are you breaking the traffic pattern, but in many places you're breaking the law.
Yeah, and not only that, but breaking the traffic pattern, you might think you're real nice, like, oh, I'll stop in the middle of the road to let this guy out because there's no way he can get out, because there's so many cars. I'll be nice and I'll wave him out. You're actually fucking up the traffic royally and making a much more dangerous situation, no matter how nice you think you are.
Not only that, if he gets into an accident because you let him in that way, you're at fault no matter what he did.
Yeah, if you wave someone, never wave anybody, ever, for any reason. If you wave someone, then if someone waves me, I go, no matter what. Because if something happens to me, their fault.
See, I don't do that because I'd rather not get hit, and I'd rather let some other stupid person...
I obviously don't do it if there's obviously a dangerous situation. Sometimes I'll stop and I'll sit there and I'm like, no, I'm not going. You keep waving.
It would surprise you how many times I run into people on the road who just don't understand this. Like, I used to have a long commute through all these different back road, county route whatevers, up to Poughkeepsie from where I worked at IBM. And there was one part where I took this little shortcut through a tiny subdivision, and then there's a highway, a 55-mile-an-hour highway, and I have to turn left onto it. It's a little two-lane thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a stop sign. So basically, I had to sit there for 5 minutes and then fight my way on. That's fine. At least once or twice a month, I'd be sitting there, and someone going 55 toward the left or the right would slow down and stop and then wave me through like, hey, I'm going to let you go. Meanwhile, traffic's now backing up behind them. People are going into the shoulder trying to get around them. No one knows what's going on. They're honking at me, getting mad because I'm not taking advantage of their stupid kindness and going.
Yeah, because they tried to be nice to Rim, they screwed 30 people behind them in traffic. Good job.
I guess the moral here is if you have the right of way, you are obligated to take it. And if someone has the right of way and they defer it to you, unless you're sure that nothing's going to happen, like it's the only other car on the road, don't go. Just sit there. And if they get mad at you, tough, because this is their problem. Let them figure it out.
Yeah, and I'm not going to bother going over what right-of-way is in every possible situation. Go to, the DMV website for your state or something and find the rules about right-of-way and just read the list and memorize it. It'll surprise you when you have right-of-way and when you don't.
Though very simply, in the most summary of summary, void where prohibited may not apply in all states. If you're on a road, that's the most right-of-way you can have. Whoever's already on a road and already moving has the most right-of-way.
Yep.
After that, whoever is turning right Well, whoever's going straight has right of way. Whoever's going right has right of way. Whoever's turning left typically has the least right of way in any situation.
Yep.
Typically now. I mean, four-way stops and all that are completely different.
Mm-hmm. Four-way stops, whoever gets there goes first. But if a mail truck gets there, he goes first.
Only if he arrives simultaneously. That's kind of an apocryphal thing.
Oh, yeah. But, like, if a fire and... Oh, okay, no, wait. Emergency vehicles always have right-of-way if their lights are on.
Let's talk about emergency vehicles. Because I actually was almost involved in an accident about 2 years ago because of a dumb shit.
Okay.
So I'm on a 55 road. I'm driving somewhere. And it's a 2-lane road. And I'm going. And I see an ambulance coming in front of me, like down the road coming toward me. Now, unless a road is divided, and be wary because in some states, even if it's divided, you still have to pull over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually not sure if New York is that way. But
you pull over no matter what.
Basically, if you see flashing lights on the same road you are...
Or if you hear sirens and then you look in all your mirrors to look for flashing lights. You know?
So basically, I see the ambulance coming in the opposite lane toward me. So I did the right thing. I pulled half off the road and stopped. Car coming up behind me sees the ambulance, because the ambulance is obviously coming, almost hits me, sits behind me, honking at me, and then starts to try to go around me. Just as the ambulance gets there.
Great.
The ambulance swerves out of the way. He, freaks out. Everyone barely misses each other. And then he passes me, flips me off, and keeps going.
Yeah, you have to pull over if there's an ambulance coming. Or else, you know what? You might end up in that ambulance.
You wouldn't believe how... I mean, it happens to me constantly, because for some reason, it's like a major ambulance throughfare on the road I take to the freeway to work every day.
Yeah, I think there's a hospital right there, actually. There was
there
one on
is.
the way home today.
Well, there's also that old folks' home and that veterans hospital right here.
Yeah. An ambulance came by on the way home today. I saw it. Came up behind me. Everyone pulled over, though.
So, for the love of God, pull over if an emergency vehicle is trying to get through.
Yeah, and if you hear sirens, look in all your mirrors constantly until you no longer hear the sirens, because you have no idea where that can be. Sometimes, I've been caught once or twice where I hear sirens, and I go, oh, that's way off, back to the right, it's not near me, it's on some side road. Nope, oh, there they are, let me pull over. You know, you got to keep the eye out. They might sneak up behind you. All right, let's talk about headlights.
All right, headlights are real simple. They light up your way, and they let other people see you.
Even if it's not dark out, it's good to turn them on. It's never wrong to have your headlights on.
Yes, when in doubt, turn your lights on automatically. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't slow your car down.
Yeah.
They don't burn out.
Even if it's bright daylight in the middle of the summer on a sunny Sunday drive, having your headlights on, there's nothing wrong with that. I won't tell you to turn them off.
I'll point out that in Canada, at least, all cars for a long time have been required to have daytime running lights, meaning the lights are on, kind of dim, but they're on no matter what when the car is on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they're coming over to the U.S. a lot, and I'll tell you this, Geico gave me like $100 off every 2 months or so because I have daytime running lights.
Yeah, I'd like to have daytime running lights, but my car doesn't have it, and I wasn't going to change cars over that little thing.
Basically,
but I turn them on all the time.
Now, the reason is because in Canada, they've had this for so long, and studies have shown that cars with daytime running lights are involved in like half the accidents. Because, I mean, all right, I don't want to go into this in great detail.
People can see you coming.
Well, basically, driving in normal situations, whenever there's nothing abnormal going on in the road, basically clear weather, you're driving, there's no emergency vehicles, there's no accidents, there's no broken down things, no pedestrians. Driving is fairly automatic. A robot could do it. There's yellow lines to your left, there's white lines to your right. Stay between the lines. There are signals that tell you exactly when to go, how fast to go, when to stop, what to do at all times. Mm-hmm. Driving is completely automatic. And people who drive for years and years and years get good at that to where, you've been driving on a long trip on a freeway for hours and hours. And
you're not even thinking. You're just magically
You're just kind
of
zoned out and going.
It's like DDR. You don't even think about the arrows after a certain point. The arrows go in your eyes and come out your legs like magic.
Now, there have been a lot of studies on this, and basically the more cues there are, cues, I mean things that tell your brain what to do so you don't have to know what to do. There's the yellow line on the left and the white line on the right. Notice how on freeways they also have the yellow reflectors and the white reflectors off the side of the road?
Mm-hmm.
And all those sorts of things just add more and more cues to kind of train your brain. So even if you're not paying attention, your car is probably going to keep going the direction you want it to go.
Mm-hmm.
Red lights in the back of a car and white lights in the front of a car are part of that. Seeing two white lights immediately cues you in, whether you're conscious of it or not, that there's a car coming. So having 2 white lights on your car at all times greatly increases the visibility of your car, even on a sunny day.
All right, so here's the rules for when you absolutely must have your lights on. I don't care if you have them on when the sun's out, but there's some times where if you don't have them on, I'll kill you.
And also, I'll note, at least in New York State, it is illegal to drive your car without your lights on in many of these situations.
Situation number 1, the sky is overcast. If you can't see any sky, you better have those lights on.
Yeah.
Number 2, if there is any amount of precipitation of any variety, snow, rain, hail, sleet, I don't care what the hell it is, you better have your lights on.
That's a state law here. They can actually pull you over. It's a fairly big ticket. If you're
saw a guy who was pulled over for it today.
All right.
The state law is wipers on, lights on.
So theoretically, you could not use your wipers. Then you don't have to turn your lights on.
But in not using your wipers in the rain will get you a ticket also, because that's reckless driving.
No, reckless driving is actually if you commit multiple other traffic offenses within a certain
But it's still a
time.
traffic offense if you just let your windshield get obscured.
Well, yeah, but that's
Yeah.
I forget what that one's called.
But seriously,
that's
if the cop
vision.
sees that you just don't have your wipers on and it's raining, he'll be like, how are you driving? Are you okay? What's going on here?
Yeah, but basically, turn your lights on.
Yeah. Let's see. If there is fog, turn your lights on. And if you have fog lights, turn those on too.
Now, if there's fog, don't turn your brights on. That's not going to help.
Okay.
That's going to make you see less.
Well, I'm going to talk. That's the third thing I'm going to talk about is different types of headlights. So we'll get to that. If it's nighttime, as in the sun is getting close to the edge of the sky, or is it's starting to be obscured by trees and landscape.
Dusk.
Yeah.
That's the law here. At dusk, the lights have to come on.
Yep. And if the sun isn't out yet in the morning, you also got to have them on. Now, the different kinds of headlights. A lot of people seem to be having this problem. It's just, I see it more and more every day.
Yeah, we keep seeing people driving around with their parking lights on.
Now,
God, all right.
Okay, so your car, whether you know it or not, has three light settings. Every single car, even my piece of shit 91 Tempo had 3 light settings.
At least 3. There might be more, but these are the 3 that are common to every car made after like 1970.
There is parking lights. Usually parking lights is the same dial or knob used to turn on headlights, but it's not all the way. So it'll be like 1, 2, and 1 is parking light and 2 is headlights.
Now that doesn't turn on your headlights. That turns on all those like yellow lights around the edges of your car.
Yeah, turning on the parking lights will turn on all the lights on the inside of your car so you can see the dashboard.
What? Oh yeah, well it depends on the car. Not all cars do that.
Oh, most cars do it, but it'll turn on the yellow lights on the corners of your car. Just stay on. It'll turn on like the red lights in the back of your car. Parking lights are for when you're in a parking lot.
And they're only there so you can see without blinding pedestrians in the parking lot. That is their only purpose.
Yep, the only purpose of parking lights is if you're driving slowly.
Parking lights. Parking lights. They're called parking lights. You park with them. Parking. Oh my God.
So that if you're driving around a parking lot really slow, you can see, and people can see you, but no one goes, headlights, my eyes. Usually use it when evacuating hockey games.
Now, a lot of people seem to think that these are dusk lights. Like, it's not so dark. I'll turn on these other headlights that I have.
No, you turn the headlights on. God damn it.
Or they'll say, it's raining. I'll turn on the parking lights.
Well, I don't even know they think they're parking lights.
I
think they're like half headlights or headlight setting 1 as opposed to...
No, they're nothing. They don't count as anything. If you're driving at night with those things on and you get pulled over, that's a ticket.
Having parking lights on is essentially having nothing on, unless you're in a parking lot.
They're good emergency lights if, like, say your headlights stop working and you have to get to the mechanic or something. If you don't have any other lights, turn those on at least.
Yeah, because then people see something.
But if you use those for any actual purpose other than parking, you're breaking the law in most states, for 1, and 2, you're a dumbass.
Yeah.
This is turning into a rant, but we really hate people who can't drive. Unless you don't have a reason to drive. Like, if you live in the city, or,
I hate people who do drive, as in they are driving, and they are not doing a good job of it.
Yes.
If you don't drive at all, then I don't care if you're terrible at it. That doesn't matter to me. But if you're terrible at it, and you get behind the wheel... I'm coming to get you.
Now, terrible as in I'm learning how to drive or I haven't driven in 10 years.
But then
fine.
You'll be in a driver's ed car or you'll have someone next to you showing you what to do.
Well, even then, like, say you're not driving perfectly. You're not a great driver. Fine. As long as you follow all the rules, I'm okay with you.
Oh, yeah. The things that aren't like, let's say, if you can't make it between all the cones and do a nice 4-wheel drift and go on a racetrack, that's fine. As long as you obey right of way. It doesn't take skill to obey right of way. It just takes knowledge and caring.
Because honestly, being good at driving only comes with time. I mean, when I first got my license, I wasn't that great a driver. And over the years, I got better and better just because I did it so much.
Well, I wasn't a great driver when I was born, but when by the time I got my license, I was an awesome driver because a lot of video game racing made me...
yeah, because that's so realistic.
Well, actually, I played a whole lot of racing simulators in my younger days. Like, I could tell some stories. Anyway.
All we're saying here is that we're not saying you all have to be, like, awesome drivers. That's
if you're
a whole
not
other
Michael Schumacher, that's okay. I'm not either.
As long as you follow the rules, I'm okay with you.
Yep. All right. The third headlight setting is your brights. You might not know this, but the brights on some cars are actually separate bulbs, but really what they are is they shine the headlights at a different angle, a wider angle.
Yeah, they're usually not actually brighter. They're just at a higher angle.
And they light up a wider area, and they aim the bulbs higher. See, you might not realize this, but your headlights are aimed at the ground. The guy driving in front of you doesn't get his headlights like on his, rear view mirror. They go onto the ground. They don't bother him so much.
Yeah, and also the guy oncoming in traffic doesn't get blinded by your freaking lights.
Yeah, that's because they're aimed down. The brights, also sometimes referred to as the, the high beams.
Yeah, high beams.
But basically, they aim straight forward and sort of up and down and all around. So if you turn them on, anyone looking at them or anyone driving in front of you gets those things right in the eyes, and they go, fuck, ow.
Now, these lights have two purposes.
One purpose.
Well, first of all, in many cars now, especially more modern cars, there are two ways to use them.
My car has two ways to use them.
Yep, you can usually tap something and they'll flash once.
Yep.
Or you can do something else to make them turn on.
Now, the number one, the original purpose of brights, high beams, was to turn them on and keep them on. You use this when you are alone in the dark at night with a road that has absolutely no streetlights and you can't see shit and there are no cars in front of you and no cars oncoming. So it's pitch freaking black and you can't see anything. You turn those on and now you can see.
Well, basically, the etiquette of using brights is that you can use them anytime as long as there's no oncoming traffic.
And no one in front of you.
Yeah. However, first off, for oncoming traffic, whenever an oncoming car comes, you have to turn your brights off. And then once they pass, you turn them back on.
Yep.
Now, if someone... Well, I'll talk about signaling later. But the other thing is that if there's 3 or 4 cars in a line going in the same direction on a freeway in the middle of the night, etiquette states that the person in the front will have his high beams on so that everyone can see the road better. But everyone else has them off so they're not blinding him through his rearview mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other purpose of these lights is for signaling. I said earlier that you can flash them. There are all sorts of standards all over the world for how you can signal people. But basically what I've come to learn is that you flash them once to tell someone else, hey, asshole, your high beams are on and they're blinding me. Turn them off before I shoot you.
Also, it's very good to signal people like, hey, asshole, you have your parking lights and or no headlights on. Turn them the fuck on.
Actually, I've seen that lately a lot of people, when they want to signal someone to turn their lights on, they turn their lights off and then back on.
Sometimes that's a good one, too.
That one's good because it doesn't misconstrue, because universally, the one universal use of high beam lights, flashing them, is if you're trying to pass someone, you flash them twice.
Yep. If you're behind someone on the road, say in the left lane, and you want to go around them, but there is no left lane. You're in the left lane already.
Or
and
if
you
it's
want
a two-lane road, like literally 2 lanes opposing directions, and you're behind someone and you're about to pass them over a dotted yellow, you just flash twice to say, I'm going to pass you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's also a good one, like if someone's going really slow and you're stuck behind them in the left lane, you can blink them like, hey, asshole, get the fuck out of my way.
Now, a lot of people, at least in America, seem to take offense to being flashed their brights at. But I actually learned about all this in driver's ed.
Yeah.
So, and this is actually, like, this is real. This is a standard. This is what you do. If someone behind you flashes their lights at you twice, they're not being an asshole. They're not, they're not, like, trying to intimidate you or anything, usually. They just want to pass you.
Yeah,
and
if they're honking their horn, that's something else.
Yeah.
Let's talk about horn honking next.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next, because people really overuse the horn.
And some people underuse the horn like me.
Yeah.
I underuse the horn. Okay, so, brights. If someone flashes their brights at you, they're trying to tell you something. Check your stuff. Sometimes they'll flash their brights like, hey, your trunk's open, or hey, shit's falling off your car, or hey, your gas cap is open, or, all kind. They're trying to tell you something.
Now, here's the kind of standard I've learned. Flash once usually means your high beams are on. Turn them off.
Mm-hmm.
Flash twice is, I want to pass you. 3 times usually means there's a cop up the road with a speed trap.
Yup.
I've seen that one often, and everyone always does 3 flashes.
Mm-hmm. Another good signal for, hey, there are cops, is if you're on a highway or a fast road, and people way ahead of you all turn their brake lights on in succession.
Yep.
That's cops. Or blinky brake lights, like blinky, 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 blinky,
Yep.
blinky.
Honestly, if I see a speed trap, I'll tap my brakes a whole bunch of times just so I'll warn people behind me.
Yep, after I slow down to avoid the ticket. Yeah.
Now, the other, if anyone flashes them more than 3 times, they're probably trying to tell you that your car's on fire or your muffler fell off or something.
Basically, whenever you see in your rearview mirror lights that are annoying you, check everything you can possibly check in your car.
Yeah, look at all your gauges.
Pull over into the right lane. Start smelling stuff. Start looking around. Pay attention to what the hell's going on and forget the radio and forget everyone in your car.
Because most people aren't jerks. They're not just flashing their brights at you for the hell of it. They notice something.
Get in the right lane and check everything you can check. And the other thing is, if you get in the right lane, sometimes the person, if they're behind you, will pull up to the left of you and try to communicate with you if there's something really going on.
Yeah, they'll give you the nice point to your trunk so you know, all right, oh yeah, my trunk's open. Great.
Yeah. So if that kind of thing happens, you know, then you can pull over and fix it and get back on the road instead of driving shittily for a long time.
Now, horn honking. A lot of people use honking the horn to get someone's attention. Never honk your horn to, get around someone or anything. There is one and only one use for honking your horn, and that is to warn other drivers of immediate impending danger.
Or, at the same time, when you're warning someone of immediate impending danger, you're also, what would we say? Scolding the person who caused the immediate danger, if there was a person causing immediate danger.
Yes, but that's a side effect. Never use the horn just to scold someone. If someone cuts you off and the danger is already averted, don't honk your horn at them after the fact.
Yeah, but if someone is, in the right lane and you're in the left lane, and they start coming in on you, like they're going to ram into you from the side, which means they obviously don't see you there, start honking, because that'll wake them the fuck up and they won't hit you.
Yep, or in the very least, it'll cause them to hesitate just long enough for you to slow down and get out of their way.
Or speed up and get out of their way, or swerve and get out of their way.
Yep.
I see a lot of people when a dangerous situation happens, like someone's about to cut them off. The only reaction they ever have is slam on the brakes, which I guess is good if you have anti-lock brakes.
Yeah, but sometimes that's bad.
Sometimes it's bad. Always never neglect the possibility that stepping on the gas and or, very important, in fact, the best possible thing you can do when there's danger is steer out of the way with the wheel. The gas and the brake come second because, usually speeding up to get out of the way and slowing down to get out of the way are pretty equal. Depending, unless, the danger is right in front of you, then you want to slow down. But
when in doubt, don't slam on the brakes, but slow down and turn away from whatever the danger is.
Turning away from the danger can say, that's really the purpose of a seatbelt, is not to keep, it keeps your head from smashing into shit and all that. The real purpose of the seatbelt is to keep the driver in the driver's seat in a position in which they can still control the vehicle. That is the number one purpose of the seatbelt. So if you're the driver and you're in position, where you can control the vehicle, use the steering wheel. That's the number one thing. That's why it's up where your face is.
Now, we'll do another episode. I could talk forever on all the different situations, or say you're skidding, how to get out of it depending on your car. But to put it very briefly, most people in this country now have a front-wheel drive car. Mm-hmm. If you have a front-wheel drive car and you're in any sort of skidding, swerving danger, the best generic advice, if you don't know how to drive better, is to look in the direction you want the car to go in and turn the wheel in the direction you want the car to go in. Mm-hmm. Because front-wheel drive cars tend, in a very general sense, to go in the direction... Well, basically, a front-wheel drive car will go in the direction the wheels are pointed. And a rear-wheel drive car will go in the direction the car is pointed.
Yep.
That's a big distinction. But if you have a rear-wheel drive car, you probably know more about driving it, so I don't have to go into that.
Yeah, rear-wheel car... You probably don't have a rear-wheel drive car. If you do, you know it. We're talking about things like a Ford Mustang is like the minimum rear-wheel drive car.
Yeah, like an RX-7.
A Mazda RX-7... a lot of Ferraris, Corvettes are rear-wheel drive, Dodge Vipers. You probably don't have a rear-wheel drive car. If you have a four-wheel drive car, whatever, you know.
Yeah, now four-wheel drive and all-wheel drive are very different, but that's beyond the scope of this show.
Yeah, all I want to say is that just because you have four-wheel drive and it's snowing, that doesn't mean you can, go faster than anyone else.
Well, you can. You can get faster real quick. You can't stop any faster, and you can't turn any better.
It's not really that much safer. All it does is help you go, so your car won't get stuck in a parking spot full of snow. but don't drive it on the road like, oh, it doesn't matter if there's snow on the road. I have 4-wheel drive. No, you still have the same amount of rubber touching the ground with the same amount of friction as everyone else.
Yep, because I've got 2-wheel drive, and both my wheels are on a frictionless surface. I can't go anywhere. If the road is ice and you've got 4-wheel drive, well, guess what? You've got 4 wheels on a frictionless surface. You're not getting anywhere.
Yep. All right,
the last thing we're going to talk about, because we've gone kind of long here, and we'll definitely, if you guys like this, do more things on driving.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, and this doesn't apply to a lot of places in the South and in Jersey, where for some reason they put yield signs and stop signs in just ass places.
Oh, yeah, I hate that shit. But
yeah.
When merging onto a highway, now this is sort of like the trickiest thing about highway driving, because once you're on a highway, it's easy as hell. And exiting from a highway is also easy as hell. You just turn right and stop, and slow down. But getting onto a highway is really the only tricky part of highway driving. Getting onto a highway, there's a ramp, usually, if there's no stop sign or yield sign, in which case, just stop or yield.
Now, we're talking very generically. There are some highways that may be different. Just do whatever the situation deems appropriate.
We're talking about when there's a nice long ramp, and then, there's a merge lane, so you merge into traffic that's already going, by going left in the United States.
First off, say you're on a highway and someone's trying to merge. Unless you have a reason not to, move one lane to the left and let them in for free.
Yep.
That's even a law in some states.
If you can't do that, either speed up or slow. Usually you want to speed up if you can. But if you can't speed up if you can't go to the left lane, speed up. If you can't speed up, slow down to give them a spot to enter the highway.
Yep, because right of way on a freeway is tricky when it comes to merging, because basically you are obligated to let people merge.
Unless, of course, there's big traffic, and traffic just...
If there's big traffic in many states, you're obligated to let them zipper in. You have to let at least one person in.
Yeah. That's generally the etiquette, is let one in, then go, let one in, then go. But whatever. Traffic, who cares? We're talking about in normal situations, to merge onto a highway. While you're on the ramp, step on the freaking gas. You have to be going as fast as everyone is going on the highway before you get onto the highway. I see too many people. Just today, there was a guy on the highway on-ramp. He was going 20 miles an hour. The speed limit on this highway was officially 55. Most people drive 70 or 80. So he was getting into the right lane of a highway that goes, people driving 65, usually, going 20. That means he gets on the highway going 20 miles an hour in front of someone else going 65, and then he accelerates. That's not good.
That's dangerous as hell.
That's super dangerous. I almost literally stopped behind this guy on the on-ramp so that I could use I didn't eat up all my space on the on-ramp so I could accelerate. When you get to the end of the on-ramp, you should be going the speed that everyone on the highway is going, which is, 65, whatever. On the on-ramp, step on the gas. If you don't hear your car going and faster, you're doing something wrong.
I mean, obviously, some trucks can't do that, and basically,
of course, trucks.
Whenever
totally
there's a car
different.
in front of you that can't speed up like that, don't just sit right behind them all the way up the ramp. Hang back a bit so that you'll have space to accelerate.
Mm-hmm. And then once you get to the end of the ramp, so let's say you're going 65, and the cars in the right lane of the highway are going 65, and you want to get in between them. Find an open spot. And don't use the brake so much as you use the accelerator to kind of shift back and forth, because they're not going to stop going 65, So if you let go of the accelerator, they'll go a little faster than you and you can get in behind them. Or if you want to get in front of them, step on it a little more and get in front of them. But always keep one eye looking forward and one eye looking to the left, because you might run out of ramp and then you'll die.
Now also, this is another situation, the other use for flashing lights. And usually people use 2 flashes for this. If you're behind someone and they have their signal on or they're trying to merge in front of you in any way on a freeway, you flash your lights twice to say, I'm clear of you, it's okay for you to get in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see someone trying to merge and they're not merging but you've given them enough space, they might not be able to tell that you've given them enough space, because cars are kind of long and sometimes you can't see. Flash them twice. That means, hey, I'm behind you, I can see that you have enough space, get in front of me.
Oh, and as soon as you get while you're going on the on-ramp, as you're accelerating, turn on your little left signal light. That way people know you're trying to get into the highway. Because sometimes people get on and get off and don't even bother to merge. And in that case, don't put the signal light on, and that way people will know they don't have to make room for you, because you're just getting right off. You're just, going on the ramps for fun. But yeah, when you're getting onto a highway, signal. That tells the guys, oh, this guy's trying to get in here. We need to make room.
So we've talked about this probably longer than you care to listen to it.
Awesome.
But I imagine if you guys like this at all, we'll definitely do it again. We can talk in more detail about ways to avoid accidents, what to do if you're in an accident, all sorts of driving stuff that this stuff should all be taught in driver's ed.
This stuff should all be on some car podcast somewhere. We're a geek podcast. What the hell?
Yeah, you know what? It's Thursday. It's non-geek day. It's whatever we want to talk about day.
Oh, well, I guess there are car geeks. That counts.
Yeah.
Driving geeks. Initial D.
Yeah, but I mean, in the end,
say initial D at least once.
Thursdays are free-for-alls. We talk about whatever, because basically we couldn't come up with a fourth geekery that we were in-depth enough about, or that we had enough to say about it.
Yeah, every week.
Yeah. I mean, this is our 64th episode. We put out more podcasts.
64, that's a power of 2. Woot. Powers of 2.
We're not celebrating powers of 10. We're celebrating powers of 2.
64th episode, what up? We got to celebrate in the 128th episode, the 256th
You know what? We're not going to have so
episode.
many celebrations.
That's cool. Because then we could, after like the 256th episode, we might make it to the 512th episode, but there's no way we're going to make it to like the 2048 or the 5086 or
I don't know. I
whatever.
could see that if we keep doing this for the next 10 years.
I don't think we'll make it to like the 2048.
Why not? How long has Penny Arcade been going? Webcomics?
I don't know, but still. Anyway, we're not going to make it to the Gigabyte episode.
I think we will.
Maybe the Gigabit episode, but not the Gigabyte.
All right, so once again, we'll be, at least Scott, maybe the rest of us, will be at the New York Comic Con this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll let you know about all the other cons we'll be at.
Yep.
It was cool to meet fans at KatsuCon. I hope to meet fans at every other con I go to.
Yep.
And once again, sometime soon we're going to get all of our new audio equipment and expect a drastic improvement in the audio quality.
Mm-hmm. Oh, also, there's a Frapper map, which is like this little pushpin map where you say, I'm a listener of Geeknights, and this is where I am in the world.
Yeah, there's a link to the right, and Scott will probably post something in the forums about it again, but go ahead and use it, because I forgot it was there until Scott mentioned it.
Yeah, I keep forgetting I set this thing up, and I just remembered it today, and there were some new people on there, which is pretty cool, like a guy in Australia and the guy in Britain, so...
Yeah, those two guys are like some of our first listeners.
Yeah, they're awesome. So
yeah.
if you're listening to this show, or you ever listen to our show, go to this little webpage in the forum, or it's also on. There's a link on the right-hand side of frontrowcrew.com that's under my links.
Yeah, we'll probably move it somewhere once we redo the site.
Yeah, it says Frapper map. And
basically, it just puts a dot. You can say where you are and puts a dot there, so you can see a dot of all the Geeknights listeners who have bothered to do this.
Yeah, so go and put a dot there, because then it'll be awesome. And you can also put your picture in a saying.
If you want.
Whatever.
I don't know if I did.
I didn't put a picture. You did. You put a shitty picture of you where you still had a mustache.
I did?
From like high school or something.
High school? I doubt it was from high school.
It might have been from high school.
I doubt it.
Or either that or it was early college.
I'll bet it was there was that time Steve Pomeroy was at our house and took a bunch of pictures of us.
I don't know. This seems earlier than that. It was bright behind your head. Go look at it. We'll talk about it Monday.
Yeah. We're out.
We're out.
And that was Geeknights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for our opening theme.
Be sure to visit our website at www.frontrowcrew.com. If you like our podcasts, you'll love our forums. Make sure you visit them. You can send your email feedback to geeknights@gmail.com. And if you want, you can leave us a voicemail at 206-333-1537.
Geeknights airs every weeknight, Monday through Thursday.
Geeknights is recorded with absolutely no studio and no audience. But unlike those other talk shows, it's actually recorded at night.